everybody. Chef Lily here. We're going to make pancakes this morning. Strawberry orange pancakes, strawberry orange compound butter, and a strawberry orange slush. All right, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're going to make is going to be our compound butter. We're going to make our cold foods first, and then we'll end up making our pancakes last. All right, so to make our compound butter, you need 1 stick of soft butter. You're going to go ahead and put that in a bowl. All right, we have an orange, and we're going to zest it. We're going to use this tool called the microplane, and you're going to go ahead and zest your orange into your butter. If you don't have a microplane, you can have your parent use a knife to trim off the rind, and then they can go ahead and chop that rind up into little pieces. You could also use a cheese grater to carefully zest your orange. Just be careful to not go too deep. We only want the outside of the orange. You don't want to go too deep to the white tip. All right, so I'm going to zest my whole orange into my compound butter. And next, I need to cut up my strawberries, right? So we're going to cut up a 1/4 cup of strawberries. I have my 1/4 cup here. We're going to cut them up into pretty small pieces, about the size of blueberries, and put those into our 1/4 cup and measure that out, and then put it into our strawberries, and then put it into our butter. Strawberries are in season in June, so you could even go to the farmer's market right now and get some nice, tasty local strawberries for this recipe. Alrighty, I have a 1/4 cup of berries all chopped up here, and I'm going to go ahead and put them into my bowl. You're going to also need 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar. I have my powdered sugar here, and I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons. All right, that's heaping, you guys. We don't want heaping. We want it nice and level. So make sure you go ahead and level it off using your finger. 1, 2. All right, we're also going to use some cinnamon. I have 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon that I'm going to go ahead and put in my bowl. All right, so for our compound butter, we have our stick of butter, our orange zested, we have our cinnamon, and we also have our strawberries and our powdered sugar. So we have a hand mixer. We're going to go ahead and blend this up. You could also use a whisk and whisk it up, or a spoon, the back of a spoon, and just mash it up. I have a hand mixer that I'm going to use. If you have a stand mixer in your house, you can use that. All right, I got a small bowl here. Our fire is really good. So you'll have plenty of strawberry butter for your pancakes and hopefully some left over for your toast tomorrow. All right, set your butter aside while you go ahead and grab your blender container, because we're going to go ahead and get everything mixed up for our slush. Well, get everything pressed for our slush. So again, you're going to zest another orange right into your blender container. Just love my microplane. It's really good for nutmeg, Parmesan cheese, zesting, shavings of chocolate. You could use it for many things. So this is not a one-trick pony. This is a great tool. All right, so while you have your microplane handy, you're going to go ahead and zest your last orange into your pancake batter bowl. You have 3 zested oranges. Smells so fresh. if you don't have a microplane, you can always use a knife, or have a parent use a knife to trim off the rind and have them chop it up. Alrighty, so our last orange is dusted into our batter bowl, and we'll go ahead and set that aside to use in a little bit. Right, so we need another, actually this time we need a half a cup of berries all chopped up for our slush. So go ahead and chop up your half a cup of berries for your strawberry orange slush. Put them right in there. And we're going to use a juicer to juice those oranges after we chop up our berries. If you don't have a juicer, you can go ahead and cut them in half and just use your hands to squeeze them really hard. All right. Now, say you don't like strawberries, you could use raspberries, you could use cherries that have been pitted, you could use blueberries, you could even use bananas today. Alrighty, have some strawberries in my slush, and I'm going to get a little bit more out of this bowl over here. Woo, strawberry on the ground, that's okay. And we're going to go ahead and juice our oranges now. Cut them in half. And like I said, I have a juicer, but you can go ahead and squeeze with your hands. Just make sure you don't get those seeds in there. Squeeze really, really hard. Oh, get all that juice. And I'll show you guys how I'm going to go ahead and use a juicer now. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and get all of my fresh orange juice for my 3 oranges, all juiced. All right, everybody, I have my oranges juiced, and I'm going to go ahead and pour that fresh squeezed orange juice right over my strawberries in my blender. And now we're going to go ahead and set this aside as well. When we're ready to eat, we'll put our ice and our water in there, and we'll blend it up, and we'll have nice cold strawberry orange slush. All righty. Set everything aside, and now we can go ahead and mix up our pancake batter. Okay, so I have my batter bowl over here. I'm going to put it in front of me, and the only thing in my batter bowl right now is my zest. So I have my flour. We're going to go ahead and put in 1½ cups of flour. Make sure that you have your 1 cup measure nice and level. You don't want it heaping and you don't want it underfilled either. Level, just like that. 1 cup and a half. And this is going to make about 8 pancakes. All righty. So we're going to need some leavening agent. Our leavening agent, baking powder and baking soda, these are going to make our pancakes nice and fluffy. We're going to use 2 teaspoons of baking powder. 1, 2, make sure these are nice and level, and it's really important that you look and make sure you have a 1 teaspoon measuring spoon. You have to do the correct amount of all of these ingredients. Now we're going to use 1 teaspoon of baking soda. All right. We're going to use just a couple pinches of salt, like a 1/4 teaspoon, and the salt will will bring out the flavor of the sweet ingredients. Once we have all of our dry ingredients in the bowl, we'll use a whisk and we'll whisk those up. We're going to need some melted butter. We need a 1/4 cup of melted butter. I have a 1/2 stick of butter, that's a 1/4 cup right here. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the microwave. While the butter melts, I'm going to go ahead and crack 2 eggs. I kind of made a well, as you can see, in my dry ingredients, and I'm going to go ahead and crack those eggs right into the well. I have 2 large eggs. 1. Let's see. Some of you may have never cracked an egg before. We're just going to gently crack down the middle so it has a crack, and then you pull it apart and try not to get any eggshells in your bowl. If you get eggshells in there, make sure you pick them out. All right, my butter is ready. Woo, overflowed a little bit. That's okay. All right, now we need 1 cup of milk. You can use buttermilk or whole milk. I have whole milk. Let's pour our milk into our middle of our well. And we're going to go ahead and mix that batter up now. All right. Did we put in our 2 tablespoons of sugar? Oh, yes, we did. I remember now. Make sure you have everything in there. Are you forgetting anything? Oh, the strawberries. All right, here's my strawberries. 1/4 cup of strawberries in the batter. And we're going to whisk, 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 get this all mixed up. This batter is really thick. You might need to use a splash of milk to thin it out a little bit. I think this is just fine. Let me show you what your batter should look like. Pretty thick here. We don't want it too runny because we want our pancakes to stay together on the pan. So I'm going to go ahead and use a griddle today. I have my griddle. I'm going to put it right in front of me so you guys can see me make my pancakes. All right, here's my griddle. I'm going to get it preheating to 350 degrees. We want it nice and warm. Your recipe says to use some Pam or some spray oil on here and a 1/2 tablespoon of butter. I'm going to use 1/2 tablespoon of coconut oil. That's kind of like a combination of the 2. All right. So I'm going to put my coconut oil on, and when it's all nice and melted, we'll know that our griddle is nice and hot. All right, let this heat up a little bit more. Give our batter another stir. So what other kind of pancakes do you guys like to make? I really love to make pumpkin pancakes, sweet potato pancakes, banana pancakes, chocolate chip pancakes. You could put so many different kinds of things in a pancake. All right, so my coconut oil is starting to melt. I'm going to spread it out. All righty, time to put on those pancakes. I have an ice cream scoop. That's going to be the perfect tool to get our batter onto our griddle. All righty. So once you get a scoop of batter on, you want to flatten it out a little bit with the back of your ice cream scoop. And remember, we have our griddle set at 350, or if you have a frying pan, medium degrees. Make sure you always preheat your pan. You never want to cook in a cold pan, otherwise your food will stick. All right, I have 4 pancakes on so far. I think I can fit 6 all together. can hear my pancakes sizzling. Can you hear yours sizzling? All righty, this looks great. Can you see my pancakes out there? I have 6. So while our pancakes cook, we're going to go ahead and finish our orange slush. So go ahead and grab your blender container, and you're going to measure out 1 cup of ice and about 1/4 cup of water. If you like this really sweet, you can forget the water, but if you want to kind of make it so it's not too terribly tart or sweet, put 1/4 cup of water in here plus 1/4 cup of ice. I'm going to grab my ice out of the freezer, guys. So after I make my slush, I'll show you guys how to tell when your pancakes are ready to flip. You could also use this pancake batter as waffle batter. That would be delicious. All right, I think that's about 1 cup of ice cubes there. Let me move my blender in front of me so you guys can see me blend this up. Oh, these pancakes are almost ready to flip. I'm going to go ahead and move them around a little bit. We're looking for bubbles, you guys. Bubbles that are starting to burst, and also brown edges around the edge of the pancake. There's a lot of visual cues here that we need to look for. We don't want our pancakes to be raw in the middle. All right, let me get the top to my blender, and we'll go ahead and give that a whirl. Give me a second with the blender while I go ahead and flip these pancakes. I see some of my bubbles bursting. So I know they're ready to flip. Look at that, nice golden brown pancakes. Oop, last one. All right, they were all successful. Now I can go ahead and blend up that slush. My slush is all blended up. Looking good. I'm going to grab a plate here so we can put our pancakes on there in a second. So guys, just push down on your pancakes a little bit and get them a little bit flat. That way we can make sure there's no raw batter in the middle. Looking good, looking good. Our slush, I'm going to pour into a cup so you can see what it looks like. I have a nice big red cup here I'm going to put it in. Ooh. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the fridge until I'm ready to eat. I'm going to taste it though first. Delicious. All right, guys. So I'm going to take off a pancake. And we're going to go ahead, make sure one's done in the middle. And actually, why don't you just go ahead and cut one open on your griddle to make sure that your pancake is not raw. If it looks nice and cooked through, then you put it on your plate, and we're going to put a nice dollop of our strawberry compound butter on there. I don't know about you guys, but I have some real maple syrup here. You could use a little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of maple syrup, or you can just use your strawberry compound butter if you don't like it too sweet, or whatever syrup you have at home. All right, I have one done pancake. I cut it open, and it looks nice and cooked. So I'm going to put it on my plate, put a dollop of the compound butter. Some of my maple syrup. And that's it, you guys. There's our strawberry orange pancakes, and our strawberry orange slush, and our strawberry orange compound butter. I hope you guys enjoyed.